I have stream audio playing, and I can't hear you either. Technical difficulties, everybody. Please stand by. Oh, you fixed it.
Hang on. Why must it... Okay. Hi, everybody. I recently updated my computer, and everything is fucking borked. So, let me adjust volume levels so that everything sounds good. Alright. So, as I was saying, tonight is episode 4 of San Antonio by Night. Thank you all for bearing with us with the technical difficulties with OBS not registering the fact that I have audio on the stream. But we join our coterie on a new night with them having set up a meeting between Barons Batista and Delgado, the two barons who influence transportation, tourism, the medical field, and among a few other things in the city of San Antonio. They presented gifts to Baron Batista. Some went well, some did not. At least it looked that way. And so, our coterie is determining what to do next. First, we'll get some thoughts from them about how they felt the meeting went, how they feel about things going on. So, Amber, how do you feel coming away from the meeting with Batista and having met up with a personal friend of yours? How does this night find you?
Well, I'd put it like this. I do not feel good coming away from that meeting. Not because the meeting itself was a failure. No. Far from it. No, it's more the fact of, for all intents and purposes, I should have been in my element, and yet I sat there like a slack-jawed yokel, just doing nothing. Nothing. I'm, quite frankly, disgusted with myself. I mean, God, if I can't, if I can't even speak a word when, in the presence of one baron, how am I going to go when I'm speaking in the presence of 3? Or 2. Depending. Who knows if Jamison's gonna show up, really. We don't even know if he's still on our side or not. But digressing, my little talk with Julia, blessed be her heart, has kind of solidified some things for me. I've just been sitting around, not doing a lot. Just stagnating when there are many other things that I could be doing. Getting things prepared, meeting people. So much stuff that I could do that'd be very simple to do. And I think over the next nights between now and when we have that meeting with the barons, that's exactly what I'm going to do. I don't have a hope in hell of achieving my dreams if I don't start laying the groundwork. And in my case, to meet the groundwork, that's where I need to go.
pursuing one's dreams. That is definitely something worth looking into, at the very least. What do you plan to do after all of this is said and done, given that you have eternity at this point? What you want to do with that is probably the most important question of all. But then there's Benji, the most out of his element person at that meeting. How do you feel coming away from all of that?
Out of element. Yeah, that's precisely how I felt. But according to Urian, I did pretty good. I don't know. I don't know much about politics or workings of the world, how who does what and why. I know me. I know me. And I know I can fight good. And I know I can think quick. Somehow, some way, those are all really useful to some people, but I don't know. It made me feel really out of touch. It made me feel like there's so much more I need to be doing, so much more I need to stretch out and put my fingers in everyone's pockets or some shit like that. And it's not really where I roll, you know? I think what I've been thinking about for the rest of that evening was nostalgia. Back in the ring, the lights, the cheers. I miss it. I saw where Urian excelled. I should show him where I do. He may not feel it's home, but I just at this point I feel like I owe it to share that to him. Invite him into that world that I know. Does any of that make sense?
To show him what your niche is.
Yeah.
And given that you haven't really fought anyone of note
Oh,
since
God,
you were
no.
embraced,
it's like I don't have a grounder anymore. I don't have the one thing that keeps me level-headed, keeps me moving along. And now I just feel like I'm pissed off at everything all the time. Or I'm too stressed out, or, some shit. Yeah. Yeah.
it's a strange thing being without your outlet. And then we have Urian, the man who felt the most at home in that tower, in that restaurant, conversing with Baron Batista.
It was like a momentary reprieve. Odd as that may sound. I try not to judge the others too harshly. Theirs is the enjoyment of nightclubs and bar fights and fast cars. Dare I say faster women or men. But me, it is a place of elegance. Place looking from above the city and truly taking the whole thing in. I cannot stress on how much it helps to have a view that puts everything into perspective. And I oftentimes feel that my younger compatriots have no understanding of the true magnificence of it all. Honestly, if I were being truthful to myself, it might be worth jumping ship if only for the view. But that would make me a poor judge at that point. No, right now, simply moving into this home that, well, at the very least gives me a momentary reprieve. It has luxuries, certainly. It gives me a small amount of comfort, and it keeps us hidden for the most part. But unless anything else is pressing, I will be doing my regular rounds at the start, trying to see if anyone is trying to get a hold of me. The usual ways, the expected ways. Maybe even drive around for an hour just to clear my mind. There's a part of me that wants to just speak on how things used to be. But perhaps that is simply the nostalgia hitting me after the visit to Delgado and Batista's beautiful portion of domain, and the tower which she sits. Funny how these things come about. But I very much doubt it is something that Emperor Benji or even them could appreciate. Such as a loneliness to my own condition.
Funny things, that. First things first, you all, I would like a rouse check as you wake at the new coterie home. Amber, I believe you have a condition for Hunger 4.
I do. And as the other two wake up, they will hear very loud swearing coming from Amber's room. It's probably in French. That's how you know it's her.
Benji, hearing what otherwise just sounds like absolute gibberish to him, he goes over to Amber's room and just quietly knocks. Everything all right in there? Did you fall in the toilet?
It's like, no, Benji. No, I did not fall in the toilet. Whatever you do, do not open that door.
Benji looks back and forth. He immediately opens the door and goes, Chocolat bleu!
And would see that Amber is currently bleeding from her from open wounds on her head and wrist, and she's like, "I thought I told you not to open the damn door, Benji."
Oh God, Christ! Wow! Whoa! What?
There is some trickling from her forehead as well.
Well, that's why I said open wounds on her head and wrist.
Who the
on her
fuck
head.
mugged you?
It's like, it's not the. It's the
Yeah, no.
stigmata, Benji.
Yeah, that bleeding thing. Your vampire.
Yeah,
theory.
yeah,
Look,
that
okay.
thing.
All
You know,
right.
that thing that I told you not to open the door. And what did you do?
Look, I just. Call it professional curiosity.
Yeah, well, you know what they say about curiosity and cats. Just give me a second. I need to make a call because I need to get something now. Because if I don't, I'm gonna continue bleeding everywhere. Okay? Okay.
Who are you going to call? It's not
I
gonna
have
look at that and be immediately frightened.
someone in the fashion industry. I can play it off as makeup.
Uh, alright, like pro wrestlers.
Oh, like makeup artists.
Yep.
You know, because sometimes I take pictures of a alternative nature. Just like, hold on.
That's
And she's actually gonna pull out her phone, open her Instagram, and show Benji some of the photos of Amber being covered in fake blood.
he looks at it.
It's like it's fake. This stuff was fake,
Yeah.
but
Holy fuck.
people get a kick
20,000
at it.
20,000 likes? Are you serious? What the fuck?
Yeah, I've got the I've got some what they call clout. Now, Benji, I'm gonna ask you this as nicely as I possibly can, but please get the fuck out of my room.
Okay. Alright. Hey, if
Wonderful.
you need
Thank
any
you.
help, yeah, if you need
I
any
will,
help with anything,
I will let you know.
he just does the like call me hand sign
Yeah,
and
no,
then closes the door.
I'll let you know. Damned.
Benji, you have never seen her so flustered.
I'm a little entertained, to be honest. Can all the time she's out here acting like she's some boss ass bitch, and then I'm once she kind of gets it. Still scary though.
It's a little bit weird, yes.
Oh, it's so much weirder.
And you hear this commotion going on by the time you start waking up.
Step out of my room. And I start to walk by, trying to end up ascertaining if these two are trying to tear each other apart. And I smell something particularly sweet. That little bit of copper on the back of the throat. I know that taste well. So, obviously, when I end up looking at Amber, I look at Benji, I just stand there in silence. This ought to be good.
As Benji passes by Yuri, and he just sneaks in close and whispers, Amber's bleeding.
I suppose I'm supposed to insert a crass joke at that statement.
I mean, if you want. There's already all kinds of jokes happening here.
There's just kind of this stare, like the gears are turning. You might not be sure on which way it's gonna go, but eventually he kind of dismisses it.
It's okay. It's alright. They're inside jokes.
Benji rarely does an inside joke remain a inside joke. So, allow us to end up approaching this situation with the tact and grace that is expected of civil gentlemen such as you and I. He walks towards the bathroom, takes one look at Amber, and first words out of his mouth. So that time of the month already.
She just slow turns, an eyebrow twitching, and she's just like, you know, if never mind. Look, I've made
He
arrangements.
just kind of
to get
raises a hand to Benji for a high five.
Yeah. Benji goes for it.
Okay.
Yeah. And Amber grumbling under her breath and friends, and she's like, she's probably got some bandages or something to, at the very least, stem the bleeding a little, so that she can go out and beat her herd contact to get this feed. And it's like, I've got it sorted. It's just I'm preparing to go out so I can go and get this sorted.
Understood.
Because
All apologies, Amber. It is me trying to adjust to a new environment. It seemed like the appropriate joke to make amongst child.
oh I know. It's why, you know, it's why I'm not exceptionally upset. Anyone else, I'd probably be absolutely furious.
Well,
But
if you want, I can stop you right here and now, but I'm pretty sure you won't like the outcome.
no, I'm good. I'm just gonna go get something to eat. Okay.
Are you going to be alright?
Yeah, no, I'll be fine. I've got some stuff pocketed away for emergencies such as this one.
Understood. You do not require any assistance?
I could use some assistance in getting these bandages on so that I'm not, you know, spilling blood everywhere. But otherwise,
Yes, I would gladly end up assisting. If I would have known that this was going to be a thing tonight, I would have ended up going out of my way to make sure that our dear friend would actually end up going up and picking you the necessities. After all, I think Randolph should end up stocking up for your conveniences, though I don't suppose he would be too suspect to see us requesting and picking up. Never mind that train of thought. They still use the he kind of gestures between the legs, the bandages thing.
no, that isn't required, thankfully. In fact, I'm just as a note, it's probably one of the perks.
You say that, but that depends on when you've been embraced.
Well, yes.
Alright, let's get these bandages upon you.
That's her main thing. She's gonna get the bandages on. She's made the calls to go and see a member of her herd and feed upon them.
Urian, her vitae smells really nice right now.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. I do not deny this. I've savored the idea of such a bouquet, but truth is if I were going to indulge, I would much rather have Amber be indulging the same moment, because if when I drink from her, I am not taking a small sip. I am going to enjoy the entire glass, body and soul.
Gonna deny us right now?
Right now, I am getting by. And you know that I do not sip. I take torrents.
I love it when you do that.
I know you do. So let me be the tease a little longer.
So, You get the bandages ready, and Amber is making her way towards the door to go to see a contact she has to feed from her herd. What are the two of you doing? Benji and Urian.
Well, Benji looks over to Urian. I was wondering if you were going to be busy tonight.
I make time for all my students, regardless of what is happening in my own personal endeavors. You see, Urian's already like pulling out a mop bucket, cleaning up the floors and hoping that Amber didn't get any on the carpet, because that's going to be a bitch and a half. When
It's
we
a
have the
sweeper.
How does such a tiny thing end up cleaning up this kind of mess?
I've
Just kind
learned
of
to be
pokes at it with a
patient.
stick. The stick of a Swiver Swinger, you just kind of pokes at it like, I don't know how to do this.
Just right. Well, I mean, I've been thinking about it.
So that's what that smell was.
No. What? Stop. No. No, that's not. No.
I felt like I was about to throw myself into frenzy for a moment. The smell of smoke and fire brings out the worst. Then I just realized it was you thinking.
Benji hangs his head.
I cannot hit Amber without hitting you.
You have a point.
Now, shall we move on to serious matters?
Yeah.
Good.
I mean, I've been wanting to reconnect with the ring, and truth is I don't think I've really gotten a chance to introduce you to where I excel, if that makes sense. I mean, you've definitely seen it, but like, I don't know. I feel like I could show the better part of me, if that makes sense.
Benji, I have already seen the better part of you in ways that you cannot begin to understand. I have seen one who has gone above his own element and has started to master an environment who is not his own. I have seen a fighter and a sportsman. I have seen a pugilist who will one day, I have no doubt, rank without peer. And I have seen you take in the words of Isabella and take her teachings and apply them in ways that very few of your line, I suspect, would ever know. If anything, Benji, I am more proud on seeing you out of your element than in it. But I do understand the need for comfort. Now more than ever, truthfully. So, if I can end up giving you that courtesy, then I will do all that is in my power.
You see a little contented smile crawl across his face. Cool. All right, well,
Cool.
yeah. What I want to show you is there's Isabella. We have the ring there. But I do know that there are other underground fighting rings just around San Antonio. It's kind of like just this lower really like down to earth kind of thing, like don't tell your neighbor kind of stuff.
And you have permission to engage there? Do we need to present ourselves to those who are holding sway in that particular domain?
Honestly, more than likely.
Very well then. Where is this location?
Well, I don't really have one yet.
Very well, give it to me and I will do the rest as far as the kindred end.
Cool.
Hmm,
Wait,
cool.
wait. Kindred.
Benji, every area of the city is claimed by someone or another. It is their feeding ground. It is, much like ours has been given to us by Delgado. One would presume that there's another who looks over a particular territory. If that is the case, then let us not be rude and just suddenly barge in, sit there like we own the place. Pay the proper respects to the proper people, and you may find it reciprocated. On the other hand, if it is some thin blood that wishes to end up saying, yes, I am Anarch, I am the one who's able to end up claiming this domain, well, plus side, you can get the warm up.
Or, you know what? I didn't think about that before. Yeah. I mean,
That is why I'm here.
back when I was still living, and all of that, it was just something I did anyways.
Yes, but
Yeah.
you exist in a different world.
Yeah.
But don't forget the one that you came from. That's they always had the. He thinks on how to phrase this in a way that Benji can understand. They always had the best shit.
Abso-fucking-lutely. Alright.
Abso-fucking-lutely.
Alright. Well then. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna see if Isabella can help us hook up too. I'll give her a call, see if she knows any places.
Very well then.
I appreciate it. He kind of skips out near the door and starts texting up the number.
For Isabella?
Mm-hmm.
So you shoot her a text. Kind of, are you just asking to meet her, or are you asking her specifically about locations in the text itself?
Oh god, not over text. Um, he's asking to meet up with her tonight if she's available.
Okay. So, and she texts you back and lets you know that she is available, that you can come by anytime.
Ooh. All right. Benji just signals Yuri and do we want to take your car or mine?
Depends, how many bodies are you expecting tonight?
Oh fuck. Hopefully none.
No, how many would be expected in the worst case scenario?
Benji stops and thinks about it.
That's what I thought. We'd take the van.
Okay. And as they clamber in, Benji makes sure to help Yuri and check it. He's seen the routine enough to know what to look for.
You do your once over check. Nothing seems out of the ordinary.
You know, I cannot imagine how many times Galvin has done this. Now I'm checking my own vehicles. And now I see bin. And now you're learning on how to end up doing it. It's amazing how now information just passes from one to another. Habits pass from one to another.
Wait, Calvin?
Galvin.
Galvin.
Yes. Good. He pauses. Thinks about what you just said. Yes, an acquaintance of mine who I used to run with a while back. A very fussy individual, very much a individual who knew his business and was very good at finding little things. It would not occur to me that a simple insect in a wheel well would offer so much trouble.
Never thought about it. I mean, I didn't think about it until I saw you doing it, and I started wondering, why does he do that? Well,
Well, a quick way to get rid of someone. Bring the gas tank to explode on impact, short the brake line, let nature take its course.
holy shit.
It was a common trick amongst Jackson. Lost many kindred that way.
Fuck. How the hell did the authorities not figure out anything? Or even hear anything?
Well, let's just say it was a different time. When those sorts of things happened and the right people found out, you knew exactly who you wanted on your payroll. Those who were not smart enough to find out wouldn't be smart enough to work for you, and those who were smart enough to work for you would have figured it out. And those are the types that help keep those kinds of secrets. There's an irony to it. The Kindred in Las Vegas do something very similar with thieves and slot machines.
Huh.
If you know how to rig a slot machine, they wish for you to help design a slot machine that cannot be rigged.
I bet. I wonder how many Kindred own casino.
Now, fewer than there were. It's a little harder to end up doing, a lot more effort for a lot less gain. But it's still something that allures. I mean, you have constant rotation of different kind, money coming in, drinks, booze, luxury, the promise, the glitz, the glamour to bring in different shows. I mean, you could spend your nights in perpetuity in a casino, never needing to leave its walls. The entertainment and the food comes directly to you.
It's kind of like the clubs.
Yes, but ironically, probably more secure. A lot of kindred consider clubs, very few consider casinos.
Probably because most casinos tend to have some sort of armed guard.
Who do you think pays them? Now you're getting it. Urian starts to drive.
And the two of you head to La Medianoche. Amber, where are you off to after you have sunk your teeth into a delightful sanguine host?
Next thing's next. I think I need to make a few calls. I did say that I was going to get Benji in touch with a tailor, get him suited up, as it were, in something a little bit more comfortable than what I'm able to provide him from my wardrobe. And as such, that is something that I must do.
In contacting the tailor, you do have to have Benji show up at some point for getting his measurements.
Yes. Which is something I will sort out with Benji. I just want to make sure that the tailor is down to fulfill the request. I'll put in two requests. One for Benji and one tentative request for Yuri. And I'll have a chat to both of them about it and see how they feel.
Okay. And it's not hard to set up some kind of fitting appointment for the both of them. This is someone that you know that works late nights. Seems to be a contact that you've had through your sire for a long time now.
Yes, I suppose that Ashley isn't completely useless.
But all of that is set up for whenever you see fit.
I will give them I will tell them to keep it on short notice. Give, I have confirmation of the participation of the other two.
Okay. What do you plan to do after that?
After that, I think I need to explore the nightlife a bit. I have this plan that I wish to set in motion, but for me to do that, I need to build a larger foundation of people. In the fashion industry, it's always people, people, people.
Quite.
And so, as such, I need to start expanding my influence. I need to know people. Need to be able to talk to people. Need to have people in my pocket that I can have do things for me. And although I'm not so good with the kindred side of things, I am very much equipped to wrap the kind around my little finger.
Okay.
And unfortunately, it seems like I'm going to have to do as such if I want to get where I'm going, so to say.
Okay. So what is the first thing that you want to do in that regard, then?
I need to make some friends.
Friends.
That's the first thing I need to do. I need to make some kind friends. Some more models and things that I might even be able to get into my herd eventually.
You do know that a particular person that you haven't directly interacted with in very strong regards, but you know that this person is not a fan of your work.
Yes.
Miss Maxine.
Miss Maxine. Maxine. That... that hoe bag. She's going to pose an issue. She's going to pose a problem. I know
She
the
also
larger
has
I
a lot
get,
more
the more
contacts than you do. So maybe
she does.
maybe it's time to get into contact with her.
It is. Maybe it's time to get into contact with her. Let's play the game and see if I can't maybe even supplant her position if she decides to not play ball. I hate having to get my hands dirty in such a vulgar manner, but I suppose there's nothing for it. As such, I'm sure I'd be able to find her number somewhere.
Yeah, you have it logged in your
Wonderful.
phone. This is someone that you actively avoid taking the call from.
Yes. So I suppose I know you don't have a token of her because I still need to get that, but that's fine. She'll kind of put the phone into put the number into her phone and ring it.
And you do get an answer. Hello, Maxine Forrest.
Good evening, Maxine.
hello. How are
I
you?
think it's. I am doing wonderfully, and yourself?
I am doing fabulous. How's the Instagram life?
Oh, it's working wonderfully.
Hmm.
I have. How do those more in the know put it? Clout?
Hmm. Well. Clout isn't everything. Clout can come and go. You are simply the one that's in the limelight right now, and that's fine.
Oh, I know. You sit and wait, watching for a single slip up that means you might be able to supplant me. I know. It's how we all are. The fashion world is a cutthroat one. But I think, in what you said about Cloud, you are 100% correct.
Hmm.
And so I propose that we meet up for a little chat at some point.
Oh, really? You want to chat with little old me?
I do.
What can I possibly do for the wondrous Amber Dupree?
On that one, I think you'll find out soon enough. I can do many.
Such a tease.
Oh, but
Alright,
giving up the ghost immediately is no fun.
alright. Fine. You want to meet up? I can meet up tonight.
Tonight? Wonderful.
Or tomorrow, whichever's more convenient for you.
We'll make it tomorrow, I think.
Okay. Anything else?
No, that's all. I'll see you then, Maxine.
Bye.
And, she'll, hang up the phone, kind of shaking her head like, yeah, I remembered why I didn't talk to her. But she has contacts in one way or another. Get myself in the know.
And so, you've only spent maybe an hour doing these things?
Next, I suppose it's time to... Actually, there's some time tonight. I set up the meeting for tomorrow, and I'll need to, I'll see if I can't get those tailoring done tonight after Benji and I suppose Yuri might have gone with him. After they finish whatever it is that they're doing, I'll see if I can't get them into the tailor. But I think it's been a little bit since I've put something up for my fans on the Instagram, so I'm thinking that I might see if I can't get myself in and create some content.
Content creating.
Content creating.
Okay. So, in that vein, I would like you to make me a charisma plus technology.
Can do.
It's to, well, first off, charisma plus performance to make sure that you've recorded the correct content.
Yeah.
Then we'll do technology to see if you do all of the transitions and things right.
That's right. Yes. All right. So, charisma performance. I'm guessing modeling specialty would apply in this case.
It would.
Uh, does the looks merit apply in this case?
Yes, it would.
Okay. So it'd be charisma, performance, and a +3. Though no ore because I don't have the star magnetism. Only 3 successes? Yeah, no, I'm gonna willpower
Okay.
3 dice because that is a no. Oh my.
Okay.
Right, yeah, difficulty 3. I'm not on my game today. I'm guessing the hunger earlier kind of rattled my brain a little bit.
Okay. And then now, well, I suppose this would be more of a wits technology to see if you can properly implement your transitions and your filters.
This is gonna suck. Right, I'm gonna blood surge for this.
All right.
Because otherwise it's 2 dice. I don't get any hungrier. So
Good. Good.
I'll get the bonus +1. Oh, this is gonna suck. I really should invest in Dalton technology, actually. Oh no. That's 1. I could willpower that dice, but I really don't want to, and even that'll only be a second success.
It's up to you.
No, I'm gonna leave it as is. I'm really not on my game tonight. They must have changed the UI around again.
Yeah, they've messed with some things. They've took some filters down. They've taken some things and rearranged how things work. You're finding that Instagram video is just being clunky today for whatever reason. Your photos and your videos came out pretty good as far as the raw footage, but you're not feeling like
The editing.
the editing was on point.
Yeah, no, I'm.
Maybe next time.
Alright, I'll have to. I've got the raws, so I'll come back to those. Keep those in the archive, and I'll come back to footage.
Okay, so you're not actually
See
posting
if
them tonight?
No, I won't post them tonight. I've got the raws now, and they're alright, so I'll see if I can't get into sorting that out later on.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a shame. Well, I mean, how much time do you reckon that that attempt would have taken? Because it probably would have been a couple of hours of filming footage.
Yeah,
And
that's
then
a couple of
another
hours of
couple
stuff
of-
going on. So we're gonna jump over to Benji and Urian
Okay.
at La Medianoche. You all find yourselves at the wonderful bar, and are walking in to see if you were going to talk to Isabella about getting set up with another fight.
That's right.
And she is present. She's actually on. She is kind of roaming the floor a little bit, kind of interacting with some of the guests, and just kind of looks like she's taking a little bit of a load off tonight. She's not in the office. She looks like she's doing a little bit more interacting and socializing today.
I almost hate to interrupt her, but interrupt I shall.
So you both walk up to her.
I look at Urian and I offer him to follow along.
He simply just nods and allows Benji to take point.
Ooh. I walk up to Isabella and wait for her to finish whatever conversation she's having in the meantime.
She seems to be in a conversation with a certain individual, but they're not someone that you particularly recognize. She's and then she sees that you're coming over and excuses herself from that conversation and comes over to you. Benji, you're in?
It is good to see you again, Miss Castiel.
And it is very good to see you both again.
That pleases me greatly. Benji thought it best that I accompany him this night. Go on, Benji.
Lately, I've been thinking. I kind of wanted to outstretch a bit.
Outstretch.
Yeah, I mean, we know this bar's here.
Mm-hmm.
We know the rink,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't want to just text you out of nowhere and ask, and have that on like some sort of file somewhere. So I thought I'd ask in person. But do you know any other scenes kind of like this in town?
In town? Um. She pauses to think about it for a moment. Well, I'm not entirely sure if there are other scenes like this. Are you looking for something in particular?
Well, honestly, I just want to see what it looks like everywhere else. I want to see what kind of fighters they got. I want to see how the fights play out. And I also want the opportunity to show you're in the scene I'm used to.
Well,
It seemed only appropriate, given that Benji has been following me for the past few nights, that I come to understand his strengths and where he is most comfortable.
well, and she kind of lowers her voice to a little bit more of a whisper. I'm not entirely sure if there are any kindred establishments. I can do some digging, if you're looking for something specific, but we both know that you punch a person correctly and they will die.
Yeah, no, I'm fairly aware of that.
To be fair, I think, Isabella, your stone jaw is the only thing that would be able to handle Benji in the 10-mile radius.
You flatter me.
I have an eye for talent, and those who manage them.
I guess it's more of an issue of wanting to reconnect with the ring.
I'm not opposed to assisting you. If you you and I have never matched. I'm kind of curious to see what your capabilities are too. Never really tested them.
No, I mean, I don't necessarily want to fight you. Unless that's what you would prefer I do.
I would prefer if you didn't fight any kind. If you were to go all out and you were to lose control. Not that you would, but
I mean, Isabella, I've been with you for a year. You've taught me a lot during that time.
and you just said that you're itching for something of a challenge.
I am. But it's less about a challenge and more about being around where I'm comfortable in, being in the scene I'm comfortable in.
Watching fights?
Yes, and taking part in them and all of that. I'm trying to find something. Anything to get me back in the ring, because I feel I've been completely isolated from it.
And I know that's what you did professionally when you were alive.
It was my lifeblood. It's what got me out of so much trouble. And I'd argue it still keeps me out of trouble. At least in temperament.
Well,
I know you don't trust that I can't hold myself together, but truth is I can hold myself better than you think.
I know that Matthias has been looking for you. He's always antsy to get his fists dirty.
Matthias? Really?
He's still hanging around.
Is he here tonight?
I'm not sure where he went. I saw him here a moment ago, and seems he is gone and made himself disappear for a moment.
Well, I mean, I hate the guy, but like, fuck, he's involved in that stuff. Still. I'll see if I can find him.
Don't wreck him too hard.
I'm gonna see if he can take me to... Not... Ugh.
Benji, the woman has paid you a great compliment, and you stumble over it like a child who... I'm not going to finish that sentence. My apologies, Miss Isabella. I've been spending far too much time amongst the youthful. Picking up on their vocabulary, trying to understand. Cool.
It's refreshing.
Ah, well, that's one way to put it. I personally find it a bit aggravating, but nevertheless, times change and certain things must for us as well. There's only so much that we can.
So very true. So, I can look into some things, if you would like me to, in regards to further challenges, potential challengers.
I would like that. I would like that a lot.
Thinking about Matthias Walker, he's brash, but he's not that incredible of a fighter.
No, I'm dead, so compared to me, probably not.
Compared to you, you're a brick wall.
More ways than one. Benji just gives an awkward smile to Isabella.
But that's what I can do for you today. If you want to step in the ring with me.
With you.
I did offer.
And that's... I mean... If I do hurt you, then that's...
Then it's my own faults that caused it.
All right. Yeah. If I mean,
I am gonna ask you to buy me dinner at some point.
done. Easy. Done.
All right then, it's settled. I've been itching a little bit too.
All right. Benji gives this round of smiles at both Urian and Isabella.
You're free to join us, Urian.
I would certainly enjoy stepping out to the element, if only to observe. I'm afraid I've never been much of a pugilist.
Some people are, some people are not. And she leads you both down to the sub-basement where you find yourselves in the ring. And I think that's where we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we will see how it is that Benji fares against his mentor in a clash of fists. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, everyone, to San Antonio by Night, where we are going to watch as Benji and his mentor, Isabella Castile, get in the ring together. She's you notice that the ring, aside from the both of you inside the match and Urian out in the kind of crowd stands area, there's no one else here. Seems it's been emptied out for you.
I mean, you say that, but Benji knows that apparently invisible fuckers can walk right in, so... In his mind, he's just assuming there might be someone else, but... That's okay, if they're invisible.
Isabella's changed out of the dress that she was wearing and has changed into something a little bit more akin to boxing gear.
I've never seen you in this kind of attire before.
Has a first time for everything.
Benji just... He took off his jacket and shirt and all that, wrapped his hands properly. Keeps his... Obviously, generally didn't have anything prepared for the moment. But there's an air about him that presents... It's clear he's done this so many times before. This is his... This is what he's used to.
In his element.
In his element.
Surprisingly, Isabella looks just as comfortable as you do.
Benji's just excited. Sort of an antsiness as he finishes up wrapping his hands. Shakes it out.
And she's donned some boxing gloves and just kind of looks at you. After you.
Oh. After me.
Ushering you toward the ring.
Urian, if you could be the referee here.
Well, I suppose, is there a customary bell?
Whenever you say.
Yeah.
Very well.
Benji gets into position. He centers himself up to and sizes up at Isabella.
She looks at you the same.
All right. Well, I'm sure you both know the rules better than I, so something about no shots below the belt. Please avoid all use of teeth, and keep the hair bludgeoning to the medium to a minimum, as I would rather not spend my entire evening having to treat you both to dinner. To the victor go the spoils. He just kind of dashes out of the way at that point.
Alright. Your call, ST. Who takes the first punch?
Isabella seems to be waiting for you to make the first move.
Alright. And he's gonna do that. he is not activating potence.
Okay.
What he's gonna do instead is he's gonna feign some quick jabs. And he's gonna try and get a read on basically her motions, her body motions.
Okay. So you're more trying to gauge what it is that she's trying to do, or that she would do in this particular moment.
Yeah, he's trying to learn. He's trying to learn her movements more than anything.
Okay. Then
Trying to check where her weak spots are.
okay. I'll treat this as a strength insight. This isn't an actual attack. This is more you trying to observe her movements.
Hmm. Do I get to use any of those modifiers?
What modifiers
that.
are you looking for?
Selling in a fight? Or no?
Are you trying to... You're not really trying to fake. You're trying to gauge her... You're trying to gauge her movements. You're trying to learn more about her fighting style than you are anything else. So I don't think that would apply because you're not trying to fake this with a performance.
Okay.
And she is actually going to go in for a clock to your cheek.
No.
And she lands one on you, and so you're going to take 1 point of superficial damage. But you can definitely tell that she's more of a boxer. She's not going to use her legs much except to move around the ring. She's definitely very skilled in this.
Good to know.
Because when she clocked you in the jaw, you expected something a little bit more frail than that, but she got you pretty good. It was you kind of seeing her movements a little bit that kind of mitigated what it was in that moment.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and go in for a called shot then. I, as a person, don't know the weak spots that would be involved with that, but Benji would.
You would know that Kindred, for the most part, are pretty resistant to physical damage. You would know that...
I mean weakness in fighting style.
Weakness in fighting style?
Every fighting style has certain openings to it.
Right.
I have certain weaknesses.
Okay.
When I hear boxer, I hear they have stable ground, but I don't actually know that much about fighting to make any point or position. But Benji would, because Benji's been fighting his whole life.
Okay.
And I sometimes punch pillows.
Right. I would say that insight roll will give you a +1 on the next shot. However, if you're going to take a called shot, you're going to still be at that -2. So it would be a +1 overall.
Okay.
No, -1 overall.
All right.
You can math.
I can math. To go for a called shot at that point.
Okay.
And she is going to fight you back.
Cool. I'm gonna use kickboxing.
Okay. Yep, you can add that as your specialty. So
And that brings me
to a
to 0.
flat roll. Yep.
Did it roll it?
I haven't
Oh, it
seen it
didn't.
yet.
Rah.
There it goes.
Oh, wait. Ah, look at that.
Look at that. She again clocks you on the other side of the jaw, and you're feeling pain on both sides. You take 1 point of superficial damage.
Okay.
She's wily.
She is. Can Benji tell if she is using fortitude?
That would be a wits plus occult.
Oh god. Alright.
You know that she has the ability to take a 2x4 over the head and splinter it. You know she has that ability. Whether or not she's got it going right now, you couldn't be sure.
Alright, well, Benji's gonna start taking another shot. Then.
Okay. Roll it. Strength plus brawl.
At a -1.
Are you still doing a called shot, or are you going for anything right now?
He's just doing a general punch.
General punch, then it would be strength.
General kickboxing.
Then it would be at a +1 overall,
Okay.
because you're not going for anything in specific. You're just trying to land a hit. Okay. And she will defend with a brawl of her own. Oh, you managed to sock her. She takes 1 point of superficial damage. You're pretty good at this, Benji.
I've had some work. I've had some time to practice.
You still want to keep going, or are you good?
I'm good.
You're good. You want to call it here?
No.
Then bring it on.
Alright.
What do you plan to do?
Like, I don't know if it's me or Benji who's internally wanting to use disciplines to fight. Alright, I'll just go for another kickboxing check.
Okay. Go for it.
And this time Benji wants to bring it. He's gonna use a willpower.
Okay.
Wow. I can reroll 3 dice.
Yep, 3 dice.
Wow. Oh, come on.
It's a match. As I would say in this particular instance, neither of you take damage for it, but you're going... You have the upper hand, but you don't cause her any damage.
Alright. Okay. At this point, they probably took some swings at each other, but both of them blocking effectively enough, backing off. Alright. I'll give it to you. I think here is good.
Okay. And
Ding then.
she lets her guard down, and she just looks at you.
Be honest with me.
Mm-hmm.
Are you using that thing that you can do?
Funny thing about that, can never tell.
Well, no. I had tried to, but I wasn't sure.
Some things, like those particular skills, are not evident, but others are, because there's an obvious change.
Yeah.
What do you
I can
think?
choose. I think more often than not, I'm used to hitting human. I think I fight like a human. But I think I would have known if I actually hit you like 100.
That's possible.
But you know, it only occurred to me, only in the middle of the fight, that we didn't really discuss whether or not we should use. These are powers, did we?
Do you always have time to discuss the rules of a fair fight?
No, I normally don't think about the rules of. I mean, in the ring, you know, fair fight is a fair fight. That's just for humans. More often than not, out on the street, it's. I don't think. Because it's mostly just reacting. I only really started to learn that recently.
Did you panic? You start using the gifts of the blood without really thinking about how much it's going to tax you.
Yeah. I mean, there are some things that don't really tax me a lot, but there are other things that do. Like strength. I can't even pretend. I can't hold it back. I can't make it gentle. That starts up and. Fuck. Bones brittle as fall leaves.
Then I suppose the lesson was learned. And yes, I was.
Benji just nods and smiles like, oh. That's what that was about.
What did you think, Urian?
If it makes Benji happy, then I am pleased. But personally, I look at it as no true show if Benji is perpetually holding back. And
So true.
I have a belief that right now Benji not being clear on his own rules of engagement, well, at that point, if that were true, even I could best him. And I do not believe that is well, prompt. Because I believe that Benji has the capability, but it is his own doubt that keeps hindering him. But I appreciate you being quite the sport. Though I have to admit that perhaps I'm a little too old in this, seeing you as such in the wares you are in, facing off against Benji. If it was not for me knowing better, I would almost say this was unfair. Though, to be fair, no, for you, Benji, I have no doubt that she could have finished the fight before the first punch was landed if you were allowing the use of gifts. Would have been quite a poor showing, though.
Can only clean the ring so much.
Well, let me try. And he goes to inspect Benji's gloves. Is there any of Isabella's blood on them?
He clocked her, but he didn't really draw blood. Her jaw's a little out of alignment, like it's dislocated, but
Well, gonna grabs hold of Benji's gloves. Kinda, in this weak, pencil pusher method, tries to crack his knuckles. A simple example, Benji. He takes a step back and he squares off at a fair distance, so no one could sucker punch. Measures it quite accordingly. I'm not particularly gifted in this, but a simple example, if it pleases you. And who knows, you may get to punch someone who's more than twice your age, so you're never going to get the cleaner shot.
just to be clear, he's asking if she would be willing to swing at him?
Urian's asking if Benji is willing to swing at him.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, alright.
Isabella just kind of crosses her arms and watches.
Disciplines or no disciplines?
Come at me with everything you have. And if I were to wake up in 3 nights, then I will know that my boast has fallen deaf and I will have relearned a small amount of humility.
Ah. Well, I'm just gonna do my best to make sure that doesn't happen.
No, you're more than capable of it. You would be one of the few that I believe could. That being said, it also means you have to step within my reach. And I am a lot faster than that.
Alright. Benji activates prowess.
Okay, roll me a rouse.
Oh. And I'm about to taste regret.
That beast in your belly gets a little bit hungrier. Starts to look at little old Urian like a bit of a tasty snack. Think we can get him? Think we can take him down?
Not my type.
He looks tasty though. Doesn't Isabella too?
Not my type. Can I add kickboxing in this?
It would require you first getting close enough. Urian has an option that it's faster than hand to hand, and you're not within striking distance yet.
Right. So declare your actions. What do you intend to do?
Dominate.
Dominate. Okay. Benji, you plan on just running in?
Yep, running in and doing what he does.
Okay. Then, yes, then at range will be first in the initiative. So, Urian, which dominate power are you using?
Compel.
Compel. Okay.
2 words. It's very simple. Tap out.
All right. And the resistance for that is wits plus composure, isn't it?
If I were
Resolve.
Resolve plus Resolve plus composure? I thought it was a resolve plus intelligence.
No, resolve. No, it's either intelligence resolve or wits. I'll get the book open. I'll have a look.
As do I. Let me.
Compel is intelligence resolve.
Intelligence resolve. All right. So roll that, Benji.
Oh no.
I'm willing to burn willpower.
Your hand's like, oh fuck no.
All right. So Urian's at 4 successes so far. Benji, you're at 3.
So even if Benji re-rolls and gets up to 4, the aggressor wins.
It's true. You have no chance at crit. So Benji, you stop in your tracks as if your body is moving on its own, and your body does the motions for tapping out.
Very specifically, mid stride, Benji goes in for the punch and swings and immediately blasts into the ground.
Okay, so we're both rolling strength roll, and we are going to be at -1 die apiece.
Mm-hmm.
Is Urian throwing a swing at me?
No, Urian wants no part of it, but Urian doesn't have a better option.
Benji, you made the motions for tapping out for that round. So if you're going to continue to do
No,
something else,
that was me describing him tapping out.
Oh, okay. I thought you were still swinging. I'm like, oh dear God, no.
I just wanted him to have a cool superhero thing, okay?
And Isabella recognizes that as the motion to tap out and calls the match.
He kind of leans in, Benji. Sometimes knowing the rules offers a significant advantage. And understand, you not allowing disciplines in your end held her captive to not do the same. And I'm pretty sure she can be far more creative than me. Once at the knowing a kindred who use such powers to literally tell the other to put his head up his own ass. Not that he physically could, but he was trying for hours. Fat tub of lard trying to roll himself like some kind of cinnamon roll.
Sounds awfully degrading.
I believe that was the point.
Benji pulls his hand out of the ring. It's cracked underneath. There's an impression of his fist. And
Oh dear. You're fixing that too, right?
yeah. Oh.
We'll compensate for repairs. But so long as Benji has learned something.
What have you learned, Benji?
If I have a disadvantage, make the of my game. And he just looks at everyone like, is that right?
I didn't hear what you said. Could you say it again?
If I'm at a if I'm unsure of the other party's strength, change the name of the game.
That's part of it.
Part of it. And also don't beat the fuck out of humans.
There's that. And then there's avoid a fight when you can, but know how to when you need to. And I know that you know how to. And when the other party doesn't seem like they're holding back, you have to determine whether or not you will or not.
Right. Okay. I'll keep that in mind. In the coming future.
But did that give you what you wanted out of this?
Benji puts his hand up to his face and adjusts his jaw. Goes ahead and heals superficial.
Roll me a rouse for that.
Yep.
That beast is very hungry.
It's just swirling around in its cage. He adjusts, clicks his jaw back into place, and then just smiles. Yeah. That was fun.
Good. Sometimes a good fun fight is all that's really necessary.
I agree.
But if you're gonna have a fun fight, be sure the rules are clear.
Yeah. Will do.
Well, I'm gonna go change.
You should get in that outfit more often. It suits you.
I find that sometimes the dress is a little more flattering on me, but I do love my boxing gear. Yes, Benji.
Thanks. Again.
Anytime. And she goes back to the locker room to go and change.
Benji turns over to Tyrion. What'd you think?
I think you stopped far too soon. You you do much more kickboxing. I'm not sure that he does a piss poor Muay Thai stance. What this is supposed to be. It's but then again, I ended with just seeing a lot of fighting between the Irish back in the day, and they always kept leaned back, palms rotated towards. So I'm not sure on the mechanics of it. To be fair, I always thought that the more bestial nature of my being had a better grasp on it than I have. But then again, I am also not opposed to using my teeth.
That's fair.
But I think for you, I'm going to keep an eye out for something. See, at the very least, you can appreciate the spectacle. Because to me, it always was about the spectacle of it. Anybody can involve themselves in barroom brawls and back alley fights and muggings and all that. That's one thing. But to see a true test of skill and strength in amongst the lights and the... I guess I'm just fond of the pageantry of it all. Some days I think Ember is a terrible influence on me.
You sure it's Amber? Benji just starts putting on back his clothes and all of that.
Perhaps. Nevertheless, it was cool.
It's cool. Yeah,
Yes.
cool.
No. My biggest concern when it comes to you, Benji, is not your ability in pugilism. My biggest concern is finding ways to apply it that makes your existence more bearable. But then again, I've been struggling with that for years, so who am I to talk?
Well, I mean, we all have a place too.
Do we now? He says, just thinking on that statement, starts to head out towards the van, give Benji his space.
Benji stares at the ring, looks down at the still smoldering spot where his fist landed into the floor. I can't help but wonder if that's it. He's full of complicated thoughts, thinking about whether or not his future is determined. Misses when he was still living, when fights, when there was a crowd of people around him cheering him on. He misses the moments spent, friends, fans, family in the sidelines, adrenaline. And as good at it as it was to be where his position is, and she can't help but feel like he's just been shoved back into a box again. Eternally being treated like some dirty... Too much energy and too much power. He just got done with a fight, but he already wants to go hit something new.
Could always just go hit somebody and take them for all they're worth. Kind of hungry right now. Just say we go grab a bite.
We don't fight. Defeats the purpose of everything everyone has.
Come on. Go take a drink out of poor sap. Nobody's gonna know. Nobody's gonna care.
I don't start that shit. I end it. That's my final word on that. He picks up his jacket. Quietly. Fairly solemnly. And follows after Urian.
Where are you both headed?
Probably by
Wonder-
that point. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say wherever Benji wishes to go. I'm just keeping my eye on the roads and signs. Maybe taking a little bit of a detour to see if anybody needs to get my attention. The ones who need so. Drive by the old place. But not taking a lot of time to it, just checking in.
Okay.
Did Amber send that text yet?
She would have, yes.
Benji sees it. And then he shows Yuri and Molly.
Well, you don't look so beat up. And it might do you some good to end up showing up with a bit of class.
Monkey suit.
There
Really
is
good.
nothing quite like a well-tailored suit. To be fair, the last time I was given one, I ate the tailor as well, so.
Yeah, no. So you're probably gonna take one then, aren't you?
Never look a gift horse in the mouth.
Cool. Take it. I'll take it to heart. Wait. If it's tailored, that means it's gonna fit it, right?
Perfectly.
Oh.
And thankfully, you're out of your growth spurts.
Yeah. Thank God. Or whoever. Whatever.
Urian, in going back to the meeting place house, there is a note under the door.
Fantastic.
It's from Wolf.
It's from Wolf. Now that is concerning. I look around using Sense the Unseen.
Go ahead and make me your wits plus aspects for that. He's there, standing very still, just across the yard near a tree.
open the letter and I just start walking as though I'm reading it fairly casually. Well, that is interesting. Speaking aloud, what does it say?
Someone's snooping into your business. A mutual contact.
Benji, would you go inside and keep an ear out? I think I left the kettle on.
Oh, this is like one of the flags. Okay. Alright, I get you.
He folds the letter up. Waits for Benji to go inside.
Benji goes inside.
He starts walking just a little ways. He stays out in the open enough that he might have a fighting chance for getting to the door if Wolf ends up deciding to turn on him. Kinda raises it up. He's not looking directly at Wolf. He's just... I'm going to assume that you're here. I'm so glad to know that you put yourself back together. I lost a lot of sleep during the day over that.
Still paying for that.
I imagine.
But I came to give you a warning. Deacon Johnson is looking into your shit.
Deacon Johnson is looking into my shit. Interesting.
He can't prove it. He thinks you're responsible for my disappearance. And there's a certain security guard that disappeared from the hospital too.
Well,
Thought you should know.
do you still have feelings for this man?
Yes. He's a friend.
One of the few you still have amongst the living.
I figured you're smart enough to get yourself out of trouble.
Well, the easiest way is for him to disappear as well. You don't want that to happen.
No.
I can solve this at my convenience, but you wish for him to stay above the ground. What does he know?
He knows. To be nosy. He's an investigator with the police.
Yes, but there's no official investigation open for me.
No.
So this is something he's doing on his own time. Correct?
That would be correct.
Fantastic. So, Wolf, of what benefit is it for me to put in the extra mind and call in the extra favor to end up keeping this man alive and at bay?
He's been talking with some people. I don't know exactly who. Bjorn kind of keeps everything to his chest. But he knows something. Something about some detective from Dallas. Serena Collins.
I'd like to end up using an intelligence and politics on that.
Okay.
Would my specialty assist in this?
No, because this is a human name.
Okay. 4 might pass the difficulty, might not.
It's not a name that you have readily heard of, but you do know that it's concerning that the police of Dallas are looking into something going on in San Antonio.
Well played. Well played. Very well then, Wolf. What benefit is it to me to keep this man alive? You want him alive. I am not above acquiescing to a request, but I must understand the validity of why such an action should be taken.
Because I am paying you back.
Paying me back. For what? Not killing you?
That's a start.
Well, funny as that is. Now, if this Collins is involved in a breach from Dallas, then might I suggest that you keep an eye on them and assume, until proven otherwise, Camarilla involvement. So, congratulations, Deacon is now potentially involved in the Camarilla.
Getting involved in shit he shouldn't be.
Yes. So, while I will try and keep my nose clean, you have a particular vested interest in him. Follow him, learn of him, get a better understanding of the man who seeks me out. And this Collins, don't get too close.
Understood.
And Wolf,
Urian.
might I suggest taking time for evening prayer? After all, faith, whatever its root, I'm told is good for the soul. And yours smells like it's starting to fester. You might want to get on that.
He just stands there, waiting for you to leave.
Urian will simply back away. Doesn't turn his back on him, but he is going back towards the van. And just keeps an eye on him from a distance, giving him time to leave.
And eventually, Wolf does back away from the tree and disappear into the forested area.
Now, is interesting. Deacon. Now, there is a name I was hoping not to see in quite some time. But it could be good. I will wait for Benji to return. Keeping an eye out with Sense the Unseen.
He eventually comes out of the house, looks around for a second, doesn't see Yurian out in front, and then proceeds forward towards the van when he sees him in there. Benji has a couple letters in his hand. He just, once he gets in the vehicle, he just puts it on the dashboard. Bills. Do you know we have a leaky faucet?
Who would have known a single drip would end up costing so much? Still, I have more pressing concerns. Would seem those in the Camarilla decided to hire local talent.
What?
A individual, a policeman by the name of Deacon Johnson, has started snooping around in my affairs. More specifically, I am concerned with his involvement with a detective from Dallas. You know about Dallas. Now, what would a police officer from Dallas have anything to do with contacting the jurisdiction of San Antonio, I wonder? And then suddenly, that contact that they've made is now looking into me.
Fuck. That didn't take long.
I would suspect not. But there is a amusing piece of information that I can use. It looks like I'm going to need to seek out this Deacon Johnson. The hardest part, if possible, is to end up not killing him. That's going to be very difficult. But I said I would make the attempt.
I suppose you have a plan.
No idea. Isn't that exciting?
Well, Benji just puts his hand up to the house. I mean, this is our serial killer house, so...
Yes, there is. And I am starting to think I need to confess my sins. He puts the vehicle in drive, starts to drive off. He's gonna park somewhere out of the way and then search the van, double check it. While he may have been distracted in one, he Nosferatu. For all he knows, Buer might have been with him, just better hidden.
You look over the van after getting out. Go ahead and make me a resolve plus awareness. Or investigation, your choice.
I am going to burn a willpower.
Some pesky bugs in the wheel well. But nothing about the engine, nothing about the gas tank. Everything else seems clean.
Now, when you say bug, are we talking actual insect or are we talking about electronic recording device?
No, an actual insect.
Well, here is where the resources would come in handy. Still, he closes the dashboard and drops a few of the insect carcasses in the ashtray. Always check for bugs. I would... Go ahead.
Benji's just watching him.
And are you going back to the actual haven?
Now I am.
Okay.
Or actually, more accurately, I'm going back to Amber. She apparently has us with a date and a tailor.
That she does. And so when you meet back up to the coterie house, she is there waiting, ready, and has everything set up for getting you both measured for a well-tailored suit.
Like the tailor is there?
No, that you were going to an appointment.
Yes.
A late night appointment.
Yeah, very late night. How'd you get a tailor this late, actually?
Oh, this particular guy just doesn't sleep, so he decides to do something productive with his time.
At the very least, could be entertaining. Still, I am going to well, I am looking forward to it. Though, unfortunately, we have some serious business to discuss.
Oh well, if it's serious business, I'm sure we can sort that out before the appointment. Talking about it at least. We can sort out actually dealing with it after the fact. The appointment shouldn't take too long.
Only current affairs. It would seem that a investigator from Dallas is now making contact with a policeman in San Antonio, looking into my comings and goings.
Do you think that's the beginning of the Camarilla incursion?
I think this is going to be entertaining. The hard part is not dealing with the policeman. The hard part is doing so well keeping him alive.
I mean, you are right there. I'm sure any one of us, if we really wanted to, could make him disappear.
Yes, but that would attract further attention.
Attention. Yes.
So, I would have him... I would have him leashed and given proper information.
Hmm.
And he walks up to Amber. And surely you would want to end up getting inside my little chamber. He takes hold of Amber's hands and clasps them in his own. Through my closest confidant. Someone who would know my mind and whose sights are more than enough to tease any man out of marriage.
On that, you're very much correct.
He lets go of her hands. You will find this man. I will give you his home address. A chance encounter, perhaps. I leave the details to you and Benji. Amber, you will get into this man's life, his bed, and his soul, if you can't get into his head. I want him to be... I want to know his contacts more. If I remember correctly, it is Detective Collins from the... from Dallas. And if Collins is in fact working as a spy of the... well, Camarilla, I want to be sure that I can give a wonderful amount of information that may be useful.
So you're talking about planting falsehoods.
Not at all. Anyone can lie. The truth is far more entertaining.
Hmm.
Besides, who could lie to me? I worship the Prince of Lies.
That you do.
So, that is the steps going forward. I will inform you as to what you can do after that. But no, the man has a wife and child. And if he cannot be swayed, I would see this man given reason to leave. Or at least be distracted by more pressing concerns.
Hmm.
And no, I don't mean kidnapping Ember, though that was a great classic. I was thinking messy divorce, settlement, bickering, drama. Maybe this policeman has had a fling with a particular celebrity that went south. Pictures that end up showing him in a compromised state and sent home to his wife.
Oh, you mean debauchery.
Am I talking to the wrong person?
Oh no. No, not at all.
Well, after all, for you it would be a fling, hardly a sour on your reputation. But to a detective, I think such things would destroy a man's reputation. In the force as well as the homestead. Such is the pity. He was on this big break too.
Then once you have this chance encounter set up, I will see it done.
Oh, do not worry. I will be sure of it. But first, it has been a long time since I have had a proper suit. And, well, as I was telling Benji the last time, I was involved with the tailor after crafting such a genius piece of fabric. I couldn't help but eat him, so no one else could try and commission such jealousy.
Mm. Yes, please don't eat him. He is an exceptionally useful asset that I don't wish to lose. But the appointment is set up. All I need to do is make a call and we can go.
Very well.
Amber, you make the call. The appointment is set up. He has you meeting him at his lovely shop where every piece on the rack looks exquisite. And one could only hope they look even more so when they're fitted to the gentleman whom you have called coterie mates to their specifications. And I believe that is where we are going to call tonight's episode.
Just as a very quick point before we do end,
Mm.
Amber will, on the drive over, Amber will tell Benji, now, I must warn you to stay exceptionally still.
Why?
Because if you do not, tailors have a way with needles. You don't stay still, they will poke you to make you stay still. And it's better to avoid the constant
Hey.
jabbing.
Amber, I appreciate the suggestion, but remember when I came home back covered in blood?
I remember.
Yeah, I stabbed myself. Anyways,
I'm sorry, what?
now let's end it.
Alright. And scene. Thank you all for playing.
Thank you for SDing. Oh, that's great.
Glad you guys had fun. You did have fun, yes?
Oh
Yeah.
yes, very much so.
I just feel bad for Benji.
Oh.
I feel bad for him. In his worldview, the way it worked is he would rather seriously be shut down rather than be seriously what's the word? He would rather be seriously shut down than rejected, if that makes sense. Or reprimanded. There we go. He's just feeling really dejected. He doesn't feel like he was taken, is the issue.
Does it feel like he was taking what?
He doesn't feel like he was taken seriously at all. It's kind of like his mindset was he was going in punches and things like that, and then by like the third round she was like, you ready to call it off? And he's like, what? Wait, what? And then it occurred to him he wasn't being taken seriously. Like, she could have shut this down very quickly.
She could have. She was basically kind of trying to egg you on.
But she knows. She should have just like stated those rules first and foremost.
Now, whose fault was that?
You can say it's mine. But to be fair, he didn't want to fight in the first place. She invited.
But I mean, that's just the price you pay. It's the nature of the beast, no pun intended.
Make Benji feel bad for being what he's good at? Yeah, sure.
That wasn't her intent, but I suppose
That's what happened.
That's something that Benji will have to bring up to Isabella.
He won't. He's just gonna ferment on it. Who are we kidding? He can't talk about his emotions. I can, but he can't.
Yes, because
What a boy.
Benji is emotionally constipated.
It's true. It's really true. He's afraid of women because he's afraid of injection.
But we love him anyway.
It's okay.
So, let's move on to some experience. One for everybody. And then we have the categories that you all get to vote on as far as best scene, best who moved the plot, and best memorable line or one-liner of some sort. So, who moved the plot?
I'm gonna go with Urian. Given that
What did I do?
that interaction with Wolf.
That was ST the Jet created. That's my argument on that.
Yeah, I would say more accurately would probably be Benji.
He moved
But
some
really
personal
there
plot,
wasn't
sure.
any heavy
Yeah, he did move his personal plot.
There wasn't any real heavy plot moving.
Not in this session.
This one was more of a setup for what might happen next session.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm willing to go with Benji because he did have quite a bit of personal development this.
Alright.
You know, there's a part of me that's kind of feels bad for Benji in that whole bit. On the other hand, I'm not sorry because, you know, the dominate worked, and if that wasn't, Benji literally has a dice pool that if the dice roll the wrong way,
Urian
one shot
Struckbit.
Urian. Yeah,
To be-
it's not even a joke.
To be
Yuri
fair,
gets ragdolled.
you shouldn't feel bad at all because that's ultimately what made Benji realize, oh, I'm just being put under a shoe. It's more of a good thing because it's like,
Kind of shatters his ignorance to the situation.
yeah. Yeah.
Of course, it's still jarring.
Oh yeah,
Still
it is.
jarring and unpleasant, but I think it's one of those you'll thank me later. But yeah, no, I'm willing to go with Benji
Alright.
if we're in agreement on
Benji
that.
gets it.
Yay, thank you.
One-liner. Or memorable line.
So, it's that time of the month already.
That fucking had me
Urian.
giggling like a motherfucker.
Urian's fucking period joke.
That had me
Benji's
giggling.
like trying to egg it out of him. It's like, I am above such things. I am not going to debase myself. No, you should feel ashamed that you are making such jokes. First thing he does, walk in the room. So, that time of the month again. High five.
Oh man. If he ever said something like that to Liliana.
Well, I think it's more of a case of Urian. Like, these are much like him cringely trying to say cool, is him trying to adapt to Anarch speak.
It's true facts. I love it.
I just like the domestic silliness of it.
For real though. I was giggling. Like, if you go back and watch the VOD, I have completely removed myself from my microphone and just giggled like a motherfucker.
Yeah, no, I muted myself so that I could laugh.
That tickled me real hard.
Meanwhile, I'm
that
playing
was
a
great.
completely straight face. Nothing out of the ordinary here.
Yeah.
Nothing
No,
at all.
Urian wins that hands down.
Mm.
Honestly, I don't think anything compares.
Then Yuri, and you get that one-liner. I completely
now
lost
best
track of thought.
scene.
Yep, the best scene.
That one I'll give to Urian and Wolf.
Mm.
That was
Yeah,
it was
the
very
Urian.
nostalgic.
Yeah.
All right, then Urian gets it for Urian and Wolf. All right, that does it for experience.
Uh-huh.
So, that does it for tonight's session. Thanks, everybody, for coming out and watching San Antonio by Night, Season 2, Episode 4. I will be back tomorrow with some art, and we will be back with San Antonio next week, where we find out what happens between Barons Delgado and Batista. Say goodnight, everybody.
Good night.
Night.
Good night.